Yeah, we're live now. So,
Hey, hello everybody. Was this Coffee and Bullshit episode 3,400, I think,
or number 82.
or number 82?
So, as today, since we had a ban on our Instagram for some posts we put up, so now we can't shoot live. So, if you're looking for us live on Instagram, it's a no-go today. Didn't tell us how long we'd be banned for. It went against community guidelines.
Stupid.
So, let's check. Well, I mean, quite a few things came on. A lot of things have been happening this week. We all know our almighty leader has gotten the COVID, working from his bed probably.
So Kamala is just one step closer. How do you think she gave it to him?
Probably by a handshake.
You know, she's like, Joe, try this. I got this thing for you. I mean, she knows she's realizing the way things are going. That's the only way she's ever going to become president.
Yeah, it is probably the only way.
Because the Democrats are going to lose the next election unless they get somebody else.
Let's see. Biden most likely to have BA5.
What's that?
That's the variant of the COVID. It's supposed to move fast. It's fast moving.
You know what moves even faster if you mix it with monkeypox?
Oh yeah. Now they're considering monkeypox to be a world epidemic or something.
Yeah, but the best part is it's a sexually transmitted disease now. It's not a.
But they got 2 kids from California who caught it.
That doesn't
probably
in California. That doesn't mean anything.
Well, it could have been spread by one of the parents. Who knows? It's monkeypox. I mean, you get chickenpox.
I thought it was just a sexually transmitted disease now.
It is a sexually transmitted
so the
disease.
kids got it. So,
but it can also be done by
California.
Touching without being sexually. You know, maybe the guy popped it and the kids touched it. Who knows?
I know that people in California are weird and they do things to small children. It's Pizzagate all over again. This will be the proof now.
It could be.
I'll probably get banned for saying that.
Specific. I'm trying to see what's anything good in the news.
Yeah. So Russia and Turkey and Ukraine came to an agreement about letting a shipment of grain go through.
Correct.
And then Russia bombed Odessa, bombed the port.
Did they?
After they just agreed to it, they bombed. The biggest bombing they've ever done yet, and they did it to Odessa, right where they said they were going to
do all the shipping.
Let it go through. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you think they would take the grains and bring it maybe up north or go west?
This is where they can get it to. I mean, that's the hard part is. There's where else are you going to bring it to? There's no other port on that side.
No, but you can bring it up to Poland, Germany.
How would you get it to Poland? You have to get from off the ocean first and then get to a bay. Yeah, it's coming off an ocean.
Okay, but when the crops come in, right? They have to haul it to haul it trucks. No. They're exporting their grains.
No, they're trying to get grain into the.
No, they're one of the largest exporters of wheat.
Okay, I know that they were trying to get some in too. I think that's what it was. Is part because they were worried about being cut off food wise.
Well, I believe it's for them to export their wheat because there's already a wheat shortage. So for them to export their wheat, so farmers can get paid. So if you look,
to get to Poland, you have to go all the way up through the Baltic.
No. Baltic. Ukraine. There's Ukraine. There's Poland. You cross the border with your trucks.
Okay.
Right?
No, I think what they're trying to do.
Or you can go
I think they're trying to get it in.
No, they're trying to get it out. If anybody knows, let us know.
So we don't know anything.
But yes, Odessa is one of the biggest ports.
Right.
But it was the way I believe I heard it this morning. It was an agreement for them to export their wheat.
Oh, well.
So I mean, if they're going to export, you can go to a couple different countries there.
I guess, but if they said, You know,
But
I
it's
guess,
probably
I guess
cheaper.
you're adding major costs if you got to truck
Right.
it all the way across, and you got to go through Poland, and you got to go through, and all across. Who knows what tariffs or taxes there are and stuff. Because remember, you're bringing it from one country to another.
Well, they're not part of the UE, so they probably do get tariffs,
Right. So,
right? Or are they a part of it now?
I don't know. It depends what.
I know it's supposed to take years for them to.
I was reading about. Just trying to get to regular news because
Regular news.
That's coffee. That's coffee news because we're looking up coffee earlier today trying to buy coffee.
Trying to get our ducks in a row for next month.
Google's so stupid on the phone.
Well, we probably talked about it. It'll probably show up on your Facebook feeds or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Google News.
Odessa. Just going to look up Odessa news.
Odessa, wheat.
So we got Odessa, Texas. Somebody named Odessa died. Jeez. Google News is fucking stupid. Oh yeah, after grain export deal agreed. Right.
Yeah.
You're right. I thought they were trying to bring stuff in.
Well, they probably do bring stuff in from that port, munitions, stuff like that. I mean, who knows how most of our equipment gets there? I mean, it probably comes from the border areas or flown in and dropped off by black planes, probably.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I would think it would be. Let's see. So, you got any stuff you can
That's
jump
crazy,
on?
though. So that's basically the UN secretary was a part of this agreement, and basically, you know, the guy from Turkey saying basically Putin just spit in the face of the UN secretary. I mean, they don't like the UN anyways because the UN's going to be backing Ukraine soon,
Right? But any
and stop all Russian advancement.
well, yes, but Russia can. Like, okay, we're going to have a unified front, but Russia can deny it.
Right.
Russia and China.
What's crazy is, when did this start? February?
I think, around February.
Was it not back for it was going to be like the 5-day war?
Yeah.
And now here we are in end of July, and it's still going on. I never thought it would last this long.
No, I didn't think it was going to last this long either, but
I mean,
Ukraine's been putting up some resistance. I know the current president fired a bunch of his cabinet people, or for
February 24th is when they invaded.
Oh,
February. End of February.
Well, I mean, if you look, the Russians have lost a lot of equipment and men.
They're getting their ass. They're getting their ass kicked. Yeah, they're getting their ass kicked. Last week they shot down their own bomber with a U-24. They shot down their own bomber accidentally.
Oh well.
And now because we've given them such good weapons,
right,
they're really kicking ass. I don't know if Putin just thought we'd let it go and everybody else would just let it go and let it happen.
Well, if you can win something in 5-10 days before they can mount up a good resistance.
That's what they were thinking, right?
Probably.
It just didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. Plus, what's in the news? Oh, well, Batavia is looking at maybe a ban on selling ammo or certain types of guns in town. That's kind of a thing I read.
Yeah, but the states gave the states the right to do that, right?
Right, home rules or whatever they call it.
Yeah, even if you have CCW, there's some cities here that you can't carry through, that they can say you can't carry through. So, and there's even some cities where you have to have the gun locked in the back, completely separate from the ammo, blah blah, and you can't even bring you can't bring an AR through certain cities either.
Well, in Aurora, you can't have
You're
in Aurora, you can't have an AR or an AK.
Yeah.
So here, can you see that a little better?
No.
Good.
The city attorney will discuss the topic of regularly sales certain types of ammunition and weapons in Batavia this Tuesday. Currently, this is just a line item on the agenda with no detail and slated for the meeting.
Right.
So they can't make any decisions in this committee. I'm aware of only one place in Batavia that's currently selling ammunition or firearms. It's on the far east side.
Right. That would be Apocalypse Hardware.
Yeah. So,
which, if you know anything about how you have to buy bullets or ammo, more or less, or guns. You have to, you have to show your FOID card. Then you have to show them, if you buy a gun, your FOID card, and run a
background
check.
Yeah.
And it's.
Oh, I just saw a thing in Congress. They're talking about the wrist brace again. And they held up a big picture of the wrist brace, right? With the hand holding the wrist brace. He's like, you see this right here? This allows the weapon to fire multiple rounds at a time. And this makes it almost an automatic. He was confusing with a bump stock.
Well, and also is pointing at the forward assist, pointing at that says it changes it to a fully automatic weapon.
It's like,
so anybody knows what a forward assist is.
It's like, so I'm against it. I'm against this brace because they were trying to amend me. He's like, I'm against it because it makes it fully automatic. And the guy from the Wind Council is like, I think if you're going to talk about weapons and you're going to try and ban something, you're going to put it in the amendment, then you should actually know what they do.
Correct.
He's like, a wrist brace is for people with disabilities to help them steady a pistol. It doesn't change the rate of fire. It doesn't make it an automatic. It's not a bump stock like you think.
Right.
Like a bump stock. Like they all the fucking time. It's always so stupid. Like, oh, it's full auto. I got a full auto. You just pull. I hear that people have full auto guns all the time. Like, rarely does anybody have a full auto gun, right? They always confuse semi-automatic with full auto. Such stupid shit.
Oh yeah. With a full auto, like, all right, to have a full auto, you have to have a Class 3 license.
Yep. So
right.
Mike McMahon in New York says you have to carry separate from the firearms. So I'm guessing he means the ammo and the gun. You got to have them separated.
But then they just passed. You can carry concealed.
Yeah.
So if you're carrying concealed, you carry concealed, but your magazine has to be in the other pocket. Put them together. I mean, technically, you could have done that in Illinois. That was technically legal to do in Illinois before concealed carry. Is carry a weapon concealed with no magazine in it and have your magazine in a pocket. Technically, because then you're not carrying a gun that's loaded.
So that's what the New York rule is now. You can be concealed, but you have to have them separated. You have to have the ammo and the gun separated when you carry it.
That's kind of crazy. That because criminals will do that all the time.
So then you have to have something semi-auto so you can quickly load it. Can you imagine with your revolver? Hold on, sir.
Hold on, sir. Let me load up these 6
You're pulling
rounds.
bullets out of your pocket. Your key. That's my keys.
Nope.
Oh, there's one. Grab that for me, would you?
And you sit there fiddling with it and it drops.
I suppose if you
trying to do it in the dark,
right? If you have speed load, it might not be so bad, but that'd be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it would.
And when they say separate, then see that's the problem. So, what does separate really mean? It seems like it's more leeway to get harassed by law enforcement than it is convenient, right? Because it's not really separate. So if I have it on the outside of a holster, if I have a holster that has a magazine holder on the outside of it, I have the gun in the holster. Is that separate, or is it got to be on the other side of my body? Then,
well, he's saying New York. Is that for the whole state or New York City?
Probably the city,
because
I don't know the rest of New York.
Yeah, because every time you ever say New York, what do you think? You think of New York City.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think of the whole state of New York.
No, because New York has a lot of rural areas. Farm country and by the Finger Lakes and all that shit.
Which are completely separate rules. I would believe.
I hope so. I hope out in the rural areas, you pretty much do what you want because it's pretty much farm country.
Yeah,
you can hunt and stuff without an issue.
Yeah, you'd hope. I mean, you think they do hunting there?
Who knows, man? I think that's the one place I haven't been to.
I've been through New York to get to Connecticut, but never to.
I even landed. I don't think I've even landed in New York.
Oh, I've landed in New York. Yeah.
Say firearm in the car, ammo in the trunk. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're transporting, but if you have concealed carry there, it would have to be different. I would think. Because sometimes there were the laws there that you couldn't even take it out of your house, right? To go to the range. I mean, or something like that. It was crazy. But where are the most crimes done around the places? Usually in democratic states, cities. I mean, if you look at Chicago, how fucked up that is there. You look at Indiana, where they have.
So listen to this. So New York. So New York moved after the Supreme Court said they overturned it. The state merely put a new law in place that says where you can have a gun.
Right, sort of like how we have it here. You can't bring in courthouses.
No, the new law will ban firearms on all private property unless the owner makes a point to allow them by putting up signs. So, like, if I'm in my own yard, I have to put up a sign that says, well, that's kind of here, right? On private property, you should be able to say whether or not you want guns.
Right.
I think that's your right, is private property.
Right.
Unless they post a sign forbidding. That's how it is here in Illinois. Guns are totally banned. Churches, bars, it's fine. You don't need the bar is a good place not to have anywhere there's alcohol. You shouldn't have a gun. Public parks, I disagree with that.
Right. I disagree with that.
Government buildings, I don't see why that's an issue. You have armed security guards in every government building, basically. Colleges and public gatherings, that's dumb because that's where most shootings occur, is at public gatherings.
Right.
Right. The practice is to ban legal gun owners from carrying weapons. Yeah. I mean, anywhere besides their own home and public sidewalks.
I mean, what? Right after the shooting up there in, was it Wilmette? Or where was it in Illinois?
Highland Park.
Highland Park. Yeah, Highland Park. A lot of places around here started going a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, here.
Oh, so the difference in New York is it's banned by default. Whereas here, you have to put up a sign saying firearms banned.
Oh, okay.
There in New York, you don't. They have to put up signs saying guns allowed.
Oh. So we could probably make a shit ton of money making
guns allowed sign.
Guns allowed sign, maybe.
We have one here at the shop.
Yeah, we have one at the shop. You're allowed.
Apparently, someone beat us to the punch already.
Yeah, damn it.
So you can carry on a sidewalk. Basically, that's all you can carry in New York in your own property.
But the whole thing concealed. Nobody sees it. Nobody knows it. Right.
I like how there's so many muggings and shootings in New York, but every city where there's gun laws are super strict is where the crime and the shootings are the most.
Correct.
It doesn't. I mean, does it? That's why I hate about our government now. Even if it's not working, we just keep on doing it because it seems like that's what it should be. We'll just do the strictest thing because that seems like the right thing, although it doesn't work. But we'll just keep fucking doing it. We'll just keep making it worse.
Well, I'm saying, the Highland Park shooting. A couple of days later, people are banning fireworks because of concerns. Okay, it happened in one small place. You know what? And then some places were even patting down people to go into a festival. Okay, the Highland Park shooting was done from what, across the street?
Yeah, Wally, hold on. Willie, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But Wally Richards, yes, we'll be coming to the Woodman's in Beloit, Wisconsin. And probably end of August, September, we'll be in every Woodman's. So we're working on
we're working
with Distribo now. So we're going to be in all the Woodman's.
Yeah, all liberal cities have gone to hell pretty much. I haven't seen one that really. I mean, if you look at the congresswoman from Texas, who in that little spot there hasn't been Republican since for over 100 years, is now Republican, right? And there's a huge Hispanic placement there. I don't know, not placement, but you know what I mean, citizens or whatever that voted Republican. So I think we'll see a red wave. Like it or not, it's going to happen. It happens every so often. Republicans have power, then the Democrats have power.
It always goes this way. It goes from one side back to the other, then it comes more middle, then it swings back one way or the other again. Everybody claims to be a libertarian, but nobody will vote for the independent candidates. Nobody will ever vote in the middle. Everybody votes just Republican or Democrat.
Well, it was crazy because during the primary, you can only vote Republican or Democrat.
But there wasn't.
So if I went there saying I'm going to go Republican, you just get all Republican. Now,
for the primary,
correct, but
because you don't need to elect an independent candidate.
Well, yes, but when Amanda went to go vote, she's a independent libertarian. I don't know, whatever. And they said if she would have voted for that, she would have just got a blank sheet. I'm like, well, that makes no sense. You had to go one side to the other. Why couldn't there be one sheet saying, all right, here's all the candidates. Here's a Republican. Here's a Democrat one.
Vote none of the above?
Hell, write yourself in for all I care. But okay, you know what? I like this guy here. He's a good Republican. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, you know what? This Democrat dude has been
because you're saying just like a normal election.
correct.
When you want to be able to vote, I want to vote this Republican, but I want this Democrat, this Republican, this Democrat.
Right.
You should be able to do that.
But in a primary is different.
Yeah.
So I guess I never really paid attention to it because I just vote one ticket.
I guess thinking back, I don't
remember when they. I thought they used to be like that, but
seems like it should be. But I don't remember. It's been a while since I remember. So
every chance I get, I always go vote when I can. I don't think I've missed. I think the only time I missed one was when I was stationed in Korea.
Yeah,
I think so. I think it was the only time I
used to do absentee all the time because my work was vehemently against you going.
So they're run by New York.
Yep, exactly. When crime is like this, Republican get voted in. Yeah, people get tired of it. They want someone's going to be tough on crime, not someone who's going to say, now in Chicago, you can't chase a shoplifter anymore. You can't chase anybody, whether on foot or in car anymore. So I see more and more videos every day of shoplifters walking in, filling up bags, and walking right out the door. I just watched one Michael Rappaport. He was at a CVS with standing next to the security guard. And the dude's sitting there. He's got a mask on, like a face mask on, like the COVID mask. He's just filling up bags, and he's sitting there. He's like, "What is going on? Is this real? Is this real life?" The dude just filled up bags. No one said a word to him. He standing right next to the security guard, and he gets up. He's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is going on?" Like the dude just walked out, and like from he's like, "This is what the world's come to now." Just like, no fears. Walk in, fill up bags, and walk out. And nobody can chase you. Nobody can do a thing.
Well, because so many people, so many corporations are scared to be sued.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, literally, you can go to whatever big box store, run out of there, and their own security can't even do nothing except hold you. But if you run out the store because they had employees chase after people, tackle somebody in their parking lot, and then that person who tackled gets fired from his job.
I saw
which makes no sense.
I saw a Walmart employee. He yelled at the guy for stealing. This younger guy, so the guy who was stealing went over, started swinging at the person who told him to stop and leave the stuff here. Started swinging at him, like violently swinging at him. So the kid took a swing back to defend himself, knocked the guy out. The guy went out cold, fell on the floor, hit his head when he fell. That kid got fired from his job. That guy sued Walmart and sued the kid, and Walmart ended up paying like $2.5 million to the guy.
And he probably went there the next day to steal more.
I mean, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, that's the dumbest thing in the whole world. Like, if you're a thief and you're stealing, and you go attack somebody in an innocent process, how could you sue for that? How could you?
Correct.
It's so dumb.
It's just like what happened the other day with the governor candidate for New York. A guy walked up on stage. Now he had one of those cat claws. I watched the video a couple times. It looked like he was wearing a veteran's hat. All right. Yes, there are some veterans that vote Democrat, or maybe are a little crazy too. But he came up and didn't look like. I mean, he could have stabbed him easily, but looked like everything was kind of a slow type of thing, right? The guy kind of pulled it out.
Yeah.
Maybe didn't agree, but he stopped it. Then everybody else jumped on him. 6 hours later, he was out on bail. Trying to attempt assassination on a governor candidate, and he's let out 6 hours later. It's craziest thing, and it's in New York, right? I mean, the bail laws are all these reforms that we've done. You just kind of put the police at a disadvantage, letting just criminals go. I mean, they caught 2 non-national people in New York that had like 150 pounds of fentanyl, and a couple hours later they let them go. Well, they can't even find them no more because they weren't citizens and they left.
I just saw the death rate from drugs.
Oh,
and they're showing from like 1970 on. So like cocaine was at the top, right, for like 30 years, and like fentanyl didn't even come on the map till like 84, 85 maybe. It was like very at the bottom. Then all of a sudden they showed, like, over the last 5 years, cocaine dropped, the other drugs dropped, heroin dropped, and then fentanyl went off the charts over and above cocaine. You couldn't even see it anymore. It's so off the charts, like because the death rate is it's so quick that the people who are getting the most screwed are police, because they find it, they don't realize that it's fentanyl. They open it up or something to look at a bag or something, test it, and they just by touching it, just breathing that shit in, can fucking kill you, which is crazy. That like, how could you ever let anybody go that possesses that shit? That's basically you want to call domestic terrorists people who transport fentanyl.
And where is most of that fentanyl coming from? China. So it's brought in from Mexico, given to the cartels. Cartels bring it up because the border is so secure.
Yeah, should absolutely be a federal crime. Yep.
It should be. I mean, we shouldn't be working with the Chinese anymore.
They want to say domestic terrorist. Anybody who transports fentanyl legally should be a domestic terrorist, because you can do death unwittingly. You don't have to aim anything. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be an active participant. Just having it can cause death.
Correct.
That's an act of terrorism when you're just causing massive death. That's ignorant. Like a bomb, you actually have to set off or make a time. Like just
so the people that are making the fentanyl are knowing that it's gonna kill people.
Yeah.
And then these kids are going, they don't go to drug dealers anymore. It's all on Snapchat or Instagram, asking where can you get the drugs at, and you don't go to a building. You meet somebody in a park and they give you 2 pills or whatever it is.
Yeah.
They take it and they overdose. A lady who walking around saw a dollar bill, picked it up. What happened? It had fentanyl on it. She dropped and going convulsions. Luckily somebody was there and she got the help. But I
saw that.
Yeah.
Pretty much
so
all
now
money.
Do you pick up any money
Right.
off the street?
Right.
What do you do?
Right. Can you imagine picking up $1 and it's going to convulsions for it?
Yeah. How many people would let $1, $5, $20, $50, $100 sitting there, and you can kill massive amount of people? I mean, shit.
The scary thing is if just that little bit that was on that dollar was enough to cause that.
Yeah.
All of our money soon will be tainted with it. Just like I think almost they say like 98% of our money has cocaine on it, because all been touched like at one time or another. So like all the money has cocaine on it. So like if you took money and they blacklight or whatever the fuck, you can see the cocaine on all of our money basically at this point. It's covered with it. So when they burn bills and get new bills, it doesn't take very long for the new bills to get saturated with cocaine.
Yeah, it should be a federal crime also. Yeah, you're right, Michael. He's also a sitting congressman.
All right, if you're going to attack a sitting congressman, it should be automatically done. Should be poisoning instead of overdoses. Yeah. No, they'll say it's say, oh my god, it just needs counseling. That's what it is. Lock him in jail. Lock him in jail. Who plays with deadly drugs?
Yeah.
I agree. Like marijuana, jail time for that was dumb. People are doing 99 years for having 10 pounds of marijuana. Like it's not addictive.
It's pretty much now decriminalized.
Right. It doesn't cause, but there's still people in jail for it who did it before the decriminalization. Haven't let go. So like that, like you can't cause an overdose. You can't cause death of anybody with marijuana, right? Cocaine, yes, you can. Crack, obviously you can. Meth, you can. So those are
heroin.
Heroin. Those should all be a different class than marijuana was at the time, but it's changed now. So it's nowhere near what it was now. It's pretty much decriminalized, but
yeah, isn't it in England it's decriminalized?
Yeah,
heroin.
Heroin? Oh yes, because their goal is that it was really Russell Brand who had the biggest impact on that. He said, locking up a heroin addict doesn't do them any good. Doesn't change. They're an addict and they need counseling, and rather than make them criminals, help them. He was a big one about pushing that agenda to try to help people rather than locking them up. I agree at some point, right? But at another point too, if you're going to deal in that shit and you're going to distribute and deliver, then you're not just an addict. You're taking part in an act of crime.
Yeah.
Because drugs are illegal and you're dealing drugs and you're profiting from the harm of others. If you profit from the harm of others, then you're a criminal. You're not just an addict with a problem. You're a criminal at that point.
Yeah. Well, like Michael's saying here, it should be a poisoning instead of an overdose. You're right. You're poisoning.
But by me in the last 6 months, there's been about 7 or 8 people that have been charged with reckless manslaughter because someone overdosed that they sold drugs to. There was a husband and wife that they both ended up getting. The husband, I think, got 30 years, and the wife got 20 because they sold cocaine to somebody, and that person overdosed and died.
Yeah, well, usually cocaine's not pure like it used to be back then, right? They mix in baby powder, they mix in some.
It's always cut with something nasty.
Yeah, like Beijing Biden criminal bill.
Canada,
yeah.
I also believe Washington State also,
yeah,
or it's decriminalized, Yep.
It's
just the fact that they can't clean up the South Side of Chicago blows my mind. That blows my mind that for 5 years now, they had 20 DEA agents stationed in the South Side of Chicago. I had no idea. I can't imagine 20. 20 to me is like a small army.
20 is not very many.
If you're covering like one section of a city, okay, so at midnight every night, if you put 20 guys on 20 corners, you would stop a lot of what's going on.
Yeah, but usually federal, whatever, they don't work individually. They usually work in groups.
Okay, 5. So they take 4 corners. 5 guys stand on 4 corners. I mean,
really, they're going to stop. They're like, hey, there's feds. Let's move to another corner.
Yeah. Eventually start busting people and start, I don't know. You got to see because there's shootings there every night. So with all these shootings go on, it's you're putting witnesses out to witness the shooting, to chase down the cars that are doing the shooting, chase the people that are doing the shooting. That DA should be working with the police to be like, in a short period of time, we can get a lot of shooters off the street and a lot of guns off the street and a lot of criminals off the street. That shouldn't be that hard. They're not like they're hiding. It's not like they're shooting people inside apartments. They're standing in the middle of the fucking street and shooting each other and killing people. They're blatant about it. They don't give a damn. We had automatic weapon fight in downtown Chicago in the middle of the afternoon. Full auto going off. The one guy shot 1,200 rounds in the middle of the day in downtown Chicago in the cars chasing each other 3 months ago.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, like 4 PM, racing through downtown, got full auto. Two guys in the car, I think, at full auto, and just letting bullets fly at 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
You think
like
that gun was registered?
Super busy intersection. Of course it was, and he bought it with a FOIA card.
Yeah,
he probably put a wrist brace on it, so it made it super automatic, fully semi-automatic. An assault weapon. I always love when I hear that. So here's the thing: they got away. The guys who were doing the shooting got away. They pulled up behind the car. They chased the car down through the streets. Were shooting at it, just letting bullets fly. They got to a point where they stopped. They have it all on video. Stopped the car because the car crashed after getting shot. And they just unloaded on the car and sat there for a good 2 minutes just unloading on it. They had it all on video. Guys gone. The guys are gone. Nothing, can never find them. If you have 20 DEA agents running the neighborhood, you got cops there too. Shit.
Yeah. Well, the police force has been depleted.
Yeah.
Right. They're overworked, overtired, underpaid. They can't even get a lot of people to join the police forces anymore because you become a police officer, you do one thing wrong, you get yourself sued.
Oh yeah.
It's just like the military right now. Through this fiscal year, they only recruited, I think the Army only recruited 20,000 new troops when their goal is supposed to be 60,000 for the year. You can only get 20, and 70% of the people that are eligible to join cannot because they are so unhealthy.
So what the next thing they should do is, if you join the military, rather than getting the GI Bill, if you go to college, any state college should be free. If you do 3 years, do your minimum 3 years, you should be able to go to college for free, not $25,000.
Well, I mean, they're tempting people with bonuses. You do get
$25,000 is not
the GI Bill. There's some states that do give you free college.
Not in Illinois.
Yeah,
you get free college.
Well, the GI Bill picks up wherever you're going to go, and then once you deplete your GI Bill, there's also the Illinois Veterans Grant that will pay for a lot of your schooling too.
Pays for a lot of it, those. But the GI Bill, when I was looking at it, was like 20. You got $25,000 for the GI Bill towards school. You didn't get free college. They gave you like the GI Bill was $25,000 towards college.
No, the GI Bill is good enough to get almost a 4-year degree
at state school,
state university.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's over $100,000.
Yeah, you can. I mean, and then in Illinois, once you use that up because you get so many semester hours for it,
Mm-hmm.
then you use the Illinois Veterans Grant. They pick up another like 2 years.
I had no idea because from what I stood when I was going is you could join the reserves and get help, but
The reserves and National Guard, it's a little bit different than from active duty.
Right, but it was because it was if you wanted to go to college while in, you do reserves while you're in, so that give you some help. Then after you just transition to active, was at least the plan back then. I remember.
Then I think they pay for your school afterwards.
I didn't remember that ever being an option, but so then you can't start college till 22. And how do you go if you're active duty? How do you go to school?
Well, during active duty, you can, your times, your nights that you do have free. Some people do go to school at night. You can take online courses.
So it depends where you're stationed. There wasn't any online courses when I was 18.
Well, no, there wasn't. No. There's also military courses you can take. You can take military courses online back then, so you can max out at your points, so you would get to become an NCO.
So it depends where you end up being stationed, and you'd have to go to college there.
Yeah, I mean, but you move around, they just transfer it over.
So the only problem was back then, like my college didn't have night classes. That wasn't a possibility. Most universities didn't have night classes back then. So while you're active duty, you couldn't go to night classes and do school.
Well, yeah, back then, but today, you can go to school any 24/7.
Yeah.
Now,
but back when I was looking at joining, I was like, you got 25,000. That's from what I remember. It was like the GI Bill was like 25,000 you got, but then it was National Guard would help you during, and then after you got the GI Bill for 25,000 towards school. I don't remember.
That might have been through the National Guard or,
I remember them telling me that active duty was free school.
Active duty was always different.
Shit, I would have definitely joined if I knew active duty was free school. I didn't think it was really an option because
you can't. Yeah,
how could you do active duty and go to school?
You could. I mean, there were
active. You go after discharge. Yeah, but if you want to, so the difference was I wanted to go to become a pilot, right? So my minimum active duty was 8 years after school.
Right.
8 years. But like Michael saying, you go after like David Robinson, you go after discharge. Yeah. But 8 years active. Yeah. So I wouldn't even start at college till I was like 32.
Well, I don't think it's changed, but I think the year before Trump left, he changed the rules. So if you're in college and you're able to go pro, after your pro years, you can go serve your military time.
After your pro years?
After you become pro. So I mean,
so what if you have a career?
I don't know.
You go play baseball and you're playing until you're 46 years old. Then you're gonna go into active duty when you're 46.
I don't know. It's or there's a certain time allotted after you get out of college.
That's like what if you're a superstar? You're like a fucking David. You're like a
not very many people go that long afterwards.
I said let's say you're baseball. You go baseball, and you're playing into you're Nolan Ryan. You're playing till you're 45, and then you're gonna give up what $5-10 million a year at 45 to go back to duty in the Army. Shit, that would suck.
They'd probably just throw you in the reserves then or National Guard.
That would be bad. You could do like one weekend a month.
Yeah, 1 weekend a month.
Except when you got that big game against the World Series.
Hey, then you're just saving your arm for the next.
Right. Then sorry, I can't play in the World Series this weekend because I got to go do PT. I got to go do PT this weekend.
I can't do two. I can't. Won't be here for 2 weeks. I'm doing summer camp.
Right.
With the National Guard. But I was talking to a couple friends at a funeral for a guy I served with just last week. My old unit in the National Guard there, they did like a 2-week stint. Like, I think they said they went to San Francisco to pick up something. Wait a second. So they traveled throughout the West. They did some stops, right? Got to, see some sights. Go to San Francisco. I think I might be wrong, but it might be another mission he's talking about for summer camp. Pick up from the armory in San Francisco, drive it down to Arizona, then come back to Illinois within 2 weeks.
I mean, if you're gonna do 2 weeks, might as well do that rather than sit at a base and be bored.
Yeah, sit in the woods going, "Ooh, we're playing Army now."
I'd rather go travel.
Well, they're a transportation company, so
I'd rather do that. I'd rather go.
So they, instead of sitting in the woods, you're sitting on the road, on transportation.
Although San Francisco sucks now compared to what it used to be.
Well, I don't know what part of San Francisco they're.
The really nice district in San Francisco is basically shutting down. So there's one street. It's not Canal Street. I can't think of the street it is. Where there
the zigzag one?
No, there's really only like one street that has streetcars on it. So like, I know there's more, but like they show like San Francisco. They show a streetcar. Like there's one street. That's one street that's really nice, kind of like Rodeo. It's like their own Rodeo Drive, right?
Right.
And New Orleans has Canal Street. Like that's the only nice street, like in New Orleans, is Canal Street. So they have that. But that street in San Francisco, where all the high-end stores were, they're all leaving because they were getting massively shoplifted,
a lot of those
looted.
That's the same thing here in Chicago. Some stores are closing down. Corporations are leaving Illinois.
And it was awesome. And then doing the making the homeless a protected class was so awesome. So because they become super aggressive, like I said, they're like in Chicago. If someone asks you for money or something, and you're like, "No, I'm good," they would leave you alone.
Back in the day, you used to like
San Francisco.
No, I got nothing.
In San Francisco, they followed us all down the street, screaming at us. Like we were walking to go eat, and the one guy's like, "Hey man, can I bum a cigarette?" And I'm like, "Sorry man, none of us smoke." So the whole way down the street, "Fuck you, motherfuckers! You fucking pieces of shit!" Screaming at the top of his lungs at us, following us all the way to the restaurant. Like, you can't turn around and beat the shit out of them. You can't touch them. So it's like, it's just fucking ridiculous. And the hotel we're staying at was the Four Winds by Sheridan. It's like super nice hotel, super expensive.
Right.
Every night you walk out, as soon as you walk out on the sidewalk, you get assaulted by 4 or 5.
I think somebody was yelling at me for, "Hey, you got a cigarette?" And you're like, "No, don't smoke." I think I would purposely just go to the store, buy a pack of cigarettes, open them all up, and then crush them and then throw them on the ground. Like, there you go.
Yeah.
I would just do that just for the hell of it.
No, I'm like, "No, dude, here, you want $1?" He's like, "No, fuck you." I'm like, "All right then." And go get bent. And then there was a lot of times where we saw him in the morning squatting and shitting on the sidewalk.
Right.
Which was awesome.
Right. I mean, when we used to go to the city when we were younger, right? They would come by, like, you got $1, you got a cigarette, you got, just enough money for me to buy a sandwich.
Right. They were friendly. They wouldn't harass.
Yeah,
they wouldn't harass the shit out of you.
Right.
My old rule was, like, I'll give you money. You guys just gotta tell me a quick story. I'll give you the money. And so I always get like some good, awesome story, which I liked. And they were fun about it, and they had a good time with it. And out there, it's just fucking aggressive and screaming at you, hold down sidewalk. Like, what the fuck? So this is what happens. You make protected class. That's anybody, man. You give them absolute power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely, I guess.
Yeah, I want to say there was, I can't remember which VA it was, but they had, I think, on their property or off the VA's property, they actually had tents set up for veterans to stay there. I can't remember where that was at. I wish I would have read it a little bit better.
It's pretty horrible, though.
Yeah, it is. But the problem is some veterans don't want help, right? But
at least Arnold Schwarzenegger bought 10 houses for people, 10 tiny houses for people in San Francisco or whatever. But 10. He spent $250,000 and bought 10.
So if you can get every rich person to spend $250,000,
like what is that? What's $250,000 Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Nothing. It's a tax write-off for him.
But
he probably wrote it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad he did something. But dude, 10, you put $250,000. If you got the money, buy 100, buy 200. The fuck, you won't even notice it.
Well, they're trying to build those small home communities for veterans. They wanted to do it like outside, like in Aurora's area, but like the way outside area, like
they did it up by me and Carrie.
Guess it got disapproved, and they're still trying to work.
They did it by me and Carrie, or Crystal Lake. I'm sorry, Crystal Lake. They built like 10 of those houses in a row. It is a beautiful neighborhood. It looks amazing. Like, I think it's the coolest thing ever that they went and did that. It's so awesome that they built these houses and they all look awesome.
I think
it's a kick-ass neighborhood. I was like, so they put like 10 houses where you'd normally put like 3 or 4. They put them there, and it looks really nice. The way it's set up, it's a beautiful neighborhood. I'm like, this is awesome. They get a peaceful neighborhood in a nice place. They're not living in a shithole.
Right.
It's not. It's not. Right. It's not shitty trailers. It looks like regular single family homes, just a little bit smaller, but super nice decorated. There's flowers, there's landscape, they have garages. It's unbelievable how nice they are. Michael, you got jumped in the subway?
That had to.
That sucks.
Yeah, well, especially in New York. I mean, what do most people take? They don't.
I've never taken subway in New York. All the videos I see, people
subway.
Dude, there's fights every day. People assaulting.
That's the same thing up here.
Half naked people getting on. Just disgusting stuff happening on the
subway. L, right?
Yeah.
On the L, you hear people getting assaulted, jumped.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the one place you can't carry?
Yeah, public transportation.
Public transportation.
Right. The most dangerous place where you actually need is a subway. You're gonna get Bernard.
But
Goetz.
a criminal, they follow the law. So
remember Bernard Goetz?
Oh yeah, I remember Bernard Goetz.
Stabbed the dudes with the screwdriver, or the shot the people that were gonna stab him with the screwdriver on the subway. It was a big issue about how he's protecting himself, and he's a criminal because he defended himself against the guys who were fucking stabbing him and beating the shit out of him.
Yeah,
the 4 guys, and he's a criminal. That's what the problem is.
Yeah,
defending yourself. See, that's bullshit. You should, if guys are attacking and jumping, you should be able to defend yourself. And the only way you're going to be able to defend against 3 or 4 guys,
I mean, like most people that I know, we carry knives. But a knife will do you okay for maybe 1 or 2 people, but any more than that, I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't even have a big knife. I mean, it's not a small size, but I should carry a bigger one.
Gotta be careful, man. In Illinois, it's illegal. Anything more than 3.5 inches is illegal.
I know. I wish I can carry my bayonet blade.
The only nice thing about a knife is it
doesn't. Or carry the Rambo knife. Now that's a knife, right? Which we're sold out of those. All right. Well, it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, that went quick.
It went by quick.
Thank you guys all for joining us. It was awesome. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for all the input.
Yeah.
Definitely helped move the conversation along. It's awesome.
All right,
if you guys haven't noticed, we got new coffee mugs in. It's like a tin mug.
We still haven't put them up on
It's insulated on the inside with ceramic. It'll be up on the website soon. Watch for it though. These are awesome. The good metal one. Keeps the coffee hot without your hand getting hot. What's cool is when we do the World War II shows, the guys have to use authentic stuff. Man, it feels so bad. They come up with the tin mugs, and as you're putting coffee in it, like the handle's already burning. Like you can already feel it because it just transfers all the heat. It's so brutal. But this, because it's insulated, the handle won't get hot. Just your coffee will be hot. So anyways, that's cool.
All right. So with that, keep your head on a swivel, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Right? We'll be here next week.
I won't be, but Sal will be.
Where are you going to be?
I'll be at Woodman's. I'll be at Woodman's in Carpentersville doing a sample day. So if you're out in the Carpentersville area, Elgin, whatever, come out, see us, sample our coffee, kind of doing another demo day. Last time I did a demo day, I decided just to pour all day long. But it was still a good day. So people are good. People are awesome, always awesome about supporting. Always so thankful. Every time we go someplace, people just end up buying our cups like, oh, you support veterans? Oh, we'll just buy the coffee. I'm like, we'll try it. Like, nah, let's buy it. But I'll be out there. I'll be doing sampling all day. So come see, like 10 to 1 next Saturday. The weather should be awesome. But come out, help support us, help support veterans, help us grow our base in Woodman's.
Yeah, just remember, every bag, every item you buy from us, $1 that goes to veteran first responder charities.
Don't forget to use code GBC10 to save yourself 10%.
Yep.
Check our website out for all the locations we sell at. So we have a lot of retailers now. I think we're over 20 some smaller guys, smaller independent stores. Yeah. Go take a look. If there's someone local in the area, please go support them. Go stop by. Go tell them you watch the podcast, whatever. Tell them you came there to support. That would be awesome.
Or maybe you have an awesome shooting range over there, a gun store that's pretty busy. And hey, send them our way.
Yeah, tell them you should carry Gun Barrel Coffee.
Yeah.
And we're always happy to help out.
At that other one.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Bye.